What we have here is a box. And what we have up here is the turd that dwells within the box. Yep, what we have here is a view fan industrial. It is a 3-speed industrial. It is dated February of 1987, which is somewhat unusual because most view fans are not dated. This fan is a flaming turd. Why is it a flaming turd, you ask? Okay, let's start with the bearings. The first thing about newer stamped steel view fans is the bearings. They are god-awful right out of the box. They're either hissing or loud, or in this case, you'll see in a bit as to what the problem is with this one. But yeah, bearings are shit right out of the box, and they just ooze of suck. Alright, tiny little stamped steel motors, steel blades, although with this one's a bit interesting because this one has, I'm not sure how well you'll be able to see it here, but this one has rolled edge blades. An unusual trait for a view fan. I've never seen this before. Yeah, these things also tend to be prone to capacitor failure, and just, they don't last that long. But then again, to be fair, these things were bargain basement cheap back in the 80s. This thing was probably sold at Kmart, if I had to guess. Alright, probably for about 20 bucks. If that. So, yeah, it's a cheapie. It's a turd ball. But guess what? I like them. I like these things. Also note, it came with a nice green tassel pull chain. So let's see how this thing behaves. Yeah, you hear that? That's that cyclic buzz that everyone loves. The cyclic buzz you hear here is a magnetic flux buzz. It's basically the end result. It's what happens when the rotor becomes misaligned with the stator. It's not dead on center. So if something is slightly off, it's out of flux, you hear that buzz. So, how do you solve this problem? Well, you have to open up the motor. That's the start. You have to take it apart, you have to open the motor, and you have to reset the rotor in the casing. Normally that does it. Now, if the bearings are worn, you have to replace the bearings, which I'm probably going to do in here, even though these bearings aren't actually that bad. They're usually a lot hissier and worse. They're just slightly dry sounding. Now this fan was new in its box, which basically means it was buzzing like this out of the damned box. So it was put up, they realized, oh, this thing sucks. They put it back in its box and it remained there until it ended up at Habacrap, where I got it for all of $5. Brand new in the box. Now, bearing bullshit aside, the low speed is average for a 36-inch fan. It's nothing too fast, it's nothing too bad, it's just right. Now, let's go up to medium. It has a little bit of wobble, which I tried smoothing out by truing the blades. But I'm thinking one of the blades might also be off weight a little bit. Now, if these blades were regular non-rolled edge blades, I would actually have a set to replace these with. I got a couple sets of blades from some abandoned building about 10 years back, and basically it seemed like it was some sort of reject center, like where a bunch of RGAs, you know, dud fans, fans with issues, you know, rejected fans, would end up to die. So, anyway, these blades are have rolled edges, which is, again, something I haven't actually seen with a View fan before. I mean, I'm not too surprised, but at the same time, again, kind of surprised. Let's go to high. Ah, man, I do love when fans come with tassel pull chains. Now, the cyclic buzz does tend to quiet down once it hits full speed. It's not completely absent, but yeah, it quiets down a bit. Now, this fan also takes a little while to get up to speed, because the steel blades are a bit heavy, and a little heavy for the motor to handle. The motor is, of course, non-reversible, since this is an industrial. Front is actually not terrible. I mean, it could probably be a little better, but it's definitely not something I would call bad. I mean, considering this is a $20 shitball from Kmart, I mean, I can't really complain here. I mean, all I have to do is either reset the rotor or replace the bearings or both, but that's easy. It's very easy. So, let it coast down now. And I had gotten this from a Habicrap that hadn't actually had much of anything for a while. Like, it almost seemed as though all they've been getting lately have been new in-box fans. Which leads me to believe that whoever processes this stuff isn't taking in used fans at the moment. So, seeing this was a bit of a surprise, because there had been a bunch of other turds in their boxes. Nothing old, though. When they saw the box, they were kind of like, ew, yeah, you can have that for less. At first they were going to say $15, and then they're like 10, and then they're like, oh no, we can just give it to you for 5. And that's what they ended up doing. So. Because the box is very basic. It's just an ink sketch of the fan. Like, that's the most basic of a box you can get. Well, okay, second most, because the most basic don't even have images of the fan on the box at all. So it's anyone's guess as to what's inside. And there you have it. A 3-speed, 36-inch view fan industrial. Right out of the box.